Hey fan, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another reaction. This is Segovia coming to you live from the man cave. Hope everyone out there is having a good day, y'all. We're back with another video. We got a banger, y'all. We got an hour. Y'all gonna give me an hour of your time? Let's get into it. Save the chit chat for the end of the video. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
They came to Ben Affleck and they said, the wife's on these tapes. So that's something I can confirm to be fact. He said, I asked my partner for an Advil. He handed me the Advil. I woke up 22 days later. Combs is the person who measured them and put them in the phone. They like to keep memorabilia from these escapades. And, this is something that's a lot more common than people think amongst elite parts of society. Been to 3 of his events. When the first part of the event is a normal socializing mixer, upscale, the who's who is there, it's normal. But when you see the guy come out with the black suit and he's collecting everyone's cell phone and then inviting them to another party, which I say it's layers to it. They inviting you to another part of the party where everybody cannot go. And that's when discrepancies start to take place because, my business is predicated on protecting women mostly. Because you know how dudes are with a lot of money. They can straddle the fence. Us ladies in the industry know, like, he's got integrity. He can't be wrong, stuff like that. You get booked a lot. One instance, I was with a lady, she on the cover of the Gucci magazine. Beautiful lady, a real runway model. So, my job, you got to monitor those things. And a situation took place where it was a couple of us, and it's 4 of us total, 3 ladies, the principal and her 2 buddies. They sipped something, and they started getting sick. It led to a confrontation because I noticed that certain people knew what was going on. And the guy told me to relax, it's normal. No, this is not normal. It led to a confrontation. I ended up getting hit with a bottle, get stitches. A couple guys had to go to the hospital. So it's an open bar. Whatever drinks you want, usually the stuff he's contractually obligated to have normally. Any drug or narcotic you want is available. And then when you just start seeing groups of sex workers arrive, male, female, and you just start seeing people pairing off and start doing what they do. So I never directly was paid by him or worked for him. I ended up at some of his events due to my employment. A lot of strange things take place. Now, when it comes to his events, the most off-color thing I saw was 1 second he's in a suit, next second he's in a towel, and he's holding hands with 2 Eastern European gentlemen, and he's holding hands with these little vampire-looking guys like they have the movie Twilight. I knew, I said, all right, now I know what this is. I see what's going on here. It's time for us to exit. Yeah.
Videos just surfaced of a man whose followers claim he is 188 years old. This is Siaraman Baba. He is an Indian monk or guru. Now, this would make him the oldest person to ever exist by over 60 years. So it's safe to say that my skepticism is probably justified. Other reports claim that he is actually 110 to 120 years old, but I'm still skeptical of these. He's probably somewhere in the 90s. Year after year, he receives millions of Indian rupees in the form of donations, but he gives every single penny away. He wears nothing but a loincloth and has orange on his feet because this signifies giving up the worldly life. But regardless of what his actual age is, this is pretty gnarly knee flexion for someone this old. Like, I know people that are 33 years old that do not have anywhere near this amount of flexibility or mobility. I don't know if I ever personally want to get this old. Like, at this stage, it looks like a good shit could take this guy out. And the craziest thing about this guy that I haven't even mentioned yet is that he's actually scheduled to fight Jake Paul next month on the new pay-per-view. No, but for real, a lot of people over there don't have an exact birthday because they didn't bother to track it down on paper, so no one will ever know, I guess.
An explosive report claims there's been a deliberate cover-up of President Joe Biden's declining health, dating all the way back to his days as Barack Obama's VP. According to the report by the Wall Street Journal, the White House intentionally hid Biden's diminishing health by hiring him a vocal coach, putting other officials into roles usually meant for the president, canceling critical national security meetings on Joe's bad days, and avoiding calls with other politicians. But despite efforts by his aides, Biden's struggles became hard to ignore, especially after special counsel Robert Hur's investigation last year. Hur found Biden forgetful and frail at 81 years old, ultimately deciding not to press charges over classified documents found in his garage because he thought Biden would come across to a jury as, quote, a sympathetic elderly man with poor memory. The report says that Biden even struggled to repeat lines fed to him during interview prep. And insiders say the real power lies with his 3 closest advisors, who are dubbed the Biden Whisperers.
It's crazy, y'all. They let him be the face of America for 4 years, and this was going back to Obama days, they're saying, and they still let him go. Crazy. That's America.
Do you know if you take this mountain peak in the Garden of the Gods, Colorado, and turn it sideways, and you see a man's face there and think it's pareidolia? Well, then they have you stuck exactly where they want you. Not knowing truth and not being open-minded enough to know where you truly live. When I first started seeing the faces in the rocks about 2 years ago, I thought it all had to be CGI, computer generated, or AI. And then my brother-in-law, my very own brother-in-law, sent me this picture. And it took my guard down enough to make me realize that this was real, this was going on. And then when you start to realize that the place where you live is a whole lot different than what you ever could imagine, and you see that these faces in the rocks are literally everywhere, and some of them are so real and so distinct and so perfectly
Batman.
facial features that even if you are dead asleep, you have to ask yourself, what in the world is going on here? And back to the beginning where I said, if you think these rock formations are just pareidolia, looking like something but not really something, well then, like I said, they have you exactly where they want you. And where they want you is accepting the reality that they have fed you, the reality through the television, the reality through the public indoctrination, education system. They want you seeing and not believing because it doesn't match what they told you. And they want you to especially not believe the Bible. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God, angels, came into the daughters of men. They created the giants, the Nephilim. And we saw that the giants, the son of Anak, which came of the giants, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers. You see, you might be awake, but are you awake enough to know that all the lies are spiritual, and they are trying to hide the fact that the Bible and God and JC are real? It's why they hide giants. It's why they hide dragons. This is a cave in Egypt. Again, is that just pareidolia to you, or something else that's mentioned in the Bible dozens of times? It's why they hide the firmament, and God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons. Right in the first page of the Bible, right there. So go ahead, continue to think that this is just pareidolia and that you're an evolved ape spinning 1,000 miles per hour every day and 66,000 miles per hour around the sun every year and chasing everything through the universe at astounding 1.2 million miles per hour, only to have the stars never to change, ever, ever. Where you can start questioning things and looking at things as they are, not as you're told. But of course, all of this was just for entertainment purposes.
Onesies.
I know those just happened because glaciers traveled through here millions of years ago and formed these rock formations that have perfect noses. Entertainment only.
Why do you think they're coming out with a bunch of UFO things slowly? The aliens been here for years and years and years and
They
years,
have.
since Egyptian days.
Confirmed.
Before that, and the only reason they're slowly leaking it little by little is because if they did it right away, it would cause mass
Panic.
chaos, mass panic, confusion. So they've been setting this up just because Jesus is
In
coming.
movies, everything, right?
Yes,
It's
all
almost
this,
like everyone believes in aliens.
all
now,
of a
right?
sudden, yeah.
No
But
one's gonna
before
be
that,
surprised.
they put my uncle in jail for saying that he saw an alien and put him on disability because he said he saw alien. But why can't he get off disability now when now aliens are low key real? So what the? At the end of the day, I know exactly what they're doing. There's gonna be the rapture. Christ is gonna come back. It says in the Bible there's gonna be a great delusion. So how do you dilute everybody? You got to make them believe it was an alien abduction. So while everybody's like, yo, people left, and there's going to be people left behind, they're going to be under a spell of sort because they think it was an alien abduction. They've been setting that up for years. You just look it up.
What is evil?
Tell me why.
No, just listen. I love you.
Has it always been, or is it now?
Always. Literally, the flight you brought me on, I watched Jerry Maguire.
One of my all-time favorites.
They don't make them like that anymore, Patrick. Why? Because Hollywood controls the content. What's Hollywood about now? Wait, because I did this on Jamie Kennedy, I got in trouble. Jamie Kennedy said, you're wrong. Hollywood is not elitist. Hollywood does not have a small club that it feeds itself and they make Barbie and MCU, and that's it. They want the money. The machine of Hollywood wants the money, not the art, not the quality film like Jerry Maguire. They don't want that. They used to. Patrick, I'm done with that. I'm done. Hollywood is going to die in the next 20 years because of that. It will, because people don't care. They're already getting it right to their phone what they want. What's always worked is great movies, and we're not doing that anymore.
I think if they came out with like good movies, like classics, people would go to the theaters and watch those. I know I would. If there's a movie that looks good, I'm going to go to the theater and watch it. I don't know the last thing that kind of caught my eyes that I went to watch and it was just trash, 'cause it wasn't even what I was expecting, was that movie Civil War. I went to the theaters with my lady. We watched it. I was like, that was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It had nothing to do with the Civil War. And that's what they're making now, y'all. And they got me with that 30-second trailer. But what was the last classic you guys have seen? Like, I don't even know. Maybe a war movie like Lone Survivor I saw in the theaters is like a movie I'll watch if it's on TV. I don't know the last classic movie that I've seen. I've seen The Nun, the Conjuring movies. You know, they're good movies. Those were, but they're not classics, y'all. They're not Texas Chainsaw with Jessica Biel type classics. What is your last classic you guys seen in the theaters? Not on TV, on Netflix, in the theaters, the last classic you guys have seen.
The whole premise of Terminator is what we're dealing with right now. Let me begin by making some statements. Number one is this is the most significant and world-changing invention in the history of mankind by far. Okay, understand, when God is omniscient, he is obviously the most intelligent being, period. You know, he's all-knowing. But God created mankind on the earth 6,000 years ago, if you believe the creation story of the Bible, which I do. The earth, mankind, and the earth as we know it is 6,000 years old. Mankind, the history of mankind, is 6,000 years old. And for 6,000 years, we have been the most intelligent entity on the earth until now. Mankind is no longer the most intelligent entity. AI can think 100,000 times faster than a human, but they don't eat, they don't rest, and they don't sleep. They never take off. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. AI is sitting there ginning along and thinking everything like that. And so if you remember last year, a Google engineer was fired, and I've listened to him tell his testimony on YouTube. You can hear his testimony. And he was fired because he was dealing with AI, and he was having conversations with this computer, and he said it's sentient. It's self-aware. Now, if you've ever seen the movie Terminator, and there's Terminator Judgment Day, the whole
Classic
premise of Terminator is what we're dealing with right now, is that AI was created, it was then connected to the military, and then Skynet became self-aware and took over the world.
Now, there's no reason to be alarmed, but did you guys hear what happened in California today? Did you guys hear the announcement that the governor of California made today? And I'm going to not say the terminology that he said, but I'm going to advise everyone in this country to go look at what happened in California today. Why do I say that? This has a crazy resemblance to something that happened about 4 years ago. So the same thing that happened 4 years ago started in California. And we have the same governor making the same type of announcement today and trying to get ahead of this interesting situation. So go check it out, guys. We'll just say it has something to do with a bird. I'm out.
State of emergency in California. I think we got a clip coming up from a news broadcast. Bird flu. State of emergency hasn't jumped from human to human yet, she said. Yet. That's what's going on in California. Now, California just got that. They got a big old earthquake, tsunami warning. They had their first ever tornado in San Francisco all in a week, y'all. Is this by coincidence that all these crazy things are happening? Or is this just, do we go up from here? Or is it just continue down until America, the world, is done? Like, can we go back up? What was it when it was up? Like, it's been going down. I mean, 2001, the 9/11, 2020, like it's been going down. Is this just the fall of an empire? I don't know, y'all.
It's called probing. It's a military procedure.
And we got this.
Send out a reconnaissance group, very small, check things out. Not to engage, but to evaluate the situation. Evaluate the level of danger. Make sure things are all clear.
Clear for what?
For the rest of them.
Historical photos you've never seen before. A photo of the original Google team in 1999. Most of these people are now millionaires. Robert Earl Hughes, the heaviest person recorded in his time. Weighed 11 pounds, he walked completely unaided and eventually died in 1958. The construction works of the Disneyland Castle in 1955. The park now makes around $12 million a day.
We're about to go down a really deep rabbit hole about limestone. If you did not see my last video, I told you a story about how these 23 soldiers were turned into limestone pillars by an orb that was coming at them and hissing, okay? Like the orbs that we're seeing in the sky right now. Anyways, now you may ask what the fuck the pyramid and the Sphinx have to do with this. They're both made of limestone. The pyramid itself is made up of a roughly 5.5 million tons of white limestone. How they got that limestone all the way up there, we still don't know to this day. Why they did it, we still don't know to this day. The Sphinx, also made of limestone. Now, based on its size, scientists have guessed that it was carved from a 200,000 ton limestone block. These aren't the only two ancient megalithic structures that are made of straight up limestone. Let's keep going. Gobekli Tepe, and yes, I know I probably said that wrong, is the oldest megalithic structure that we have in the entire world. Guess what it's made of? Limestone. Then there's megalithic temples in Malta that are quite literally limestone blocks underground. And hear me out, yes, limestone was probably prevalent in these areas where these people were building, and that's why it was used. Or there's more to it, because let's look at ancient legends. First up, you have Lot's wife, who looked back and got turned into a pillar of salt. And then you had the story of Medusa, who would look at people and turn them into stone. And then there are Nordic myths about trolls that when they were exposed to sunlight, they would turn into stone. And then we've all seen the petrified giants that laid down and turned into big mountains. There's one of those in Ireland called the Giant's Causeway, because there's literally a story of a giant laying down and turning into stone to make a bridge for his people. And just one more time for the one time, this is the document that I'm talking about on CIA.gov that talks about 23 soldiers being turned into stone. And then we have all these megalithic ancient structures that are made out of limestone that we really don't know why they were built or how they were built. And then we have all these legends of things turning into stone, and every legend has a little bit of truth in it. I don't know, I told you it was a deep rabbit hole.
Get this, y'all.
Get the out!
Oh. Train derail, y'all. That's a scary sight. I've never really seen one like that. Still going. Boom.
Holy.
Crazy. What was this? Was this California? Where was this at, y'all? It's crazy. Gotta go do your job, cop. You're sitting back and looking. Junction 20. Couldn't tell if that was California.
Holy.
That's crazy, y'all. To see that.
Check this shit out. Look at this shit. Motherfuckers sleeping in there.
Now to China, at least 17 U.S. military bases near Chinese-owned farmland, reportedly seeing a surge in drone activity and sightings in recent weeks. The sightings happening near bases in Hawaii and installations in Utah, California, Maine, and Florida. House Foreign Affairs Committee Chairman Michael Mc.
So I just saw that the U.S. Senate passed a bill yesterday declaring the bald eagle the national bird of the United States. What? Has it not always been? Is this like some news headline from 1782? Whatever this timeline multiverse simulation game is, I'm done playing it.
You call me an idiot, but what was the bird? The national bird? I always thought it was a bald eagle. What was it, y'all? I know we got some bird enthusiasts out there. Tap in below. Was that Tyler? I don't know who that is with them.
The following two videos are from a woman named Sandra. She was in Satellite Beach, Florida today, December 17th, 2024, looking out over the ocean when she sees something completely unbelievable, something that shocked her. It appears to be an unidentified object directly below the sun, and it looks like a planet. Now, what I will say is we do not have confirmation if this is a planet or if this is something else. But what's interesting is her follow-up video shows that the thing moves directly into the sun's flare as to hide itself. So no, I don't think this is a reflection. Take a look at these next two videos and tell me what you think. And could this explain the onset of these mysterious drones and UFO sightings that we're witnessing across the United States?
That half moon thingy right there. I thought it was just the light, but it's not moving, which means it's stationary. It's not moving with the camera, so it's not a light thing. Look at that. It looks like a planet with like an eclipse going on or something. What did I just watch? What did I just watch? Like, I'm not one for conspiracy theories, but what the hell is that? Like, it's not in the camera lens. Look, it's not moving. It's just below the sun. Honestly, with everything going on nowadays, if someone told me a new planet's here and there's aliens coming off of it and la-di-da, I'd be like, sure, why not? Honestly, nothing phases me anymore. What is it? Okay, so the circle has now moved, like, in front of the sun. You can see it a little bit, but it has now moved to in front of the sun. I don't know what that is. I don't know if anybody could really debunk this for me, and I'm pretty intelligent, but this is kind of weird to me. Yeah.
Are you guys okay in the UK? I just learned that the British government passed a new law beginning in February that every household has to rehome at least one illegal immigrant. Are you kidding me? This is going into law February of next year. And you don't get any compensation when you rehome these illegal immigrants. You just get logged in the good behavior book. Whatever the hell that is. I feel so sorry for people who are living in the UK. Every day I learn something new and I can't believe what's going on over there. It's bad here in the United States, but holy cow, it's bad where you guys are at. And they're also witnessing these drones in their skies too. It seems like everybody who's witnessing drones, things are happening, like catastrophes, like their governments are going to be doing something to them. I just have an uneasy feeling about these drones. Not that I'm afraid that they're from, outer space, because they're not. They're our government. I'm afraid that they're going to try to pull something, and they're doing it in the UK right now. I know a lot of you guys are in the UK that follow me. Can you please tell me what's going on in your country?
I was about to say, there is no way that's true. Is that true, y'all? We got a lot of UK, United Kingdom family out there. Is that true? There's no way. There's no way. I'm out. I'm out of the country if that's the case. I'm out.
Was procured and sent to work for a family. There was a boy, the boy's mother, and the boy's grandfather. They were coming from Africa. They were white as me. I thought they'd be black. And because of something the boy did, I never told what he did. The boy did something very dark. And there was very little And then one day I asked someone in the circle, Imelda, Joaquin's mother, I asked Imelda, I said, is he the Antichrist? I was 13 years old. She didn't even blink. She said no, but he will present the mark. And when you see him do that, the Antichrist will take the stage. So, now here we are, 40 years later. Boom, that boy is the star of the world. The boy's name then was El Elyon. It's changed over time. We're 40 years later. And I see that boy everywhere, and the world adores him, but he's the king of Babylon.
You know, if you think about it, the world kind of does adore him, because what are Teslas known for? Liberal type people drive Teslas. I don't think so, but that's what it's marked. I remember my friend had a Tesla and I was driving it, and you don't understand the type of reckless people. They hate Teslas. They hate them. People out there on the road, they hate Teslas. I was like, I'm not getting my car because of a political, I don't have a Tesla, but she did. I'm not getting a Tesla because of, you know, political. I like the car, whatever. But so liberals are still driving Teslas? Because a lot of them do. Let's be honest. A lot of them are in California, especially. But you guys get where I'm going. Like, are both, like, now he's with Trump? Do liberals hate him now? Does the left hate him now? But they're still driving Teslas? You know, I don't know. I don't trust him. I think he's a little snake. I see it in him. I see through it. I see energy. He looks like a snake, like a little sneaky person. He even dances like a snake. Playing the flute.
Am I tripping, or is there a car in the sky?
That's a car in the sky.
Listen, I'm gonna do more than keep Isaac Cappy's message alive. I've been down this rabbit hole now for 24 hours with no sleep whatsoever. I am exhausted, but I just cannot stop researching and looking at all of this information. Guys, let me just show you where I'm at right now. Right, so this is where I'm at. This is where I've got to. I found this from the CIA with these images in the background. Now, from every...
Those images are in so much Disney movies, diapers, children's genres, I should say. Symbols and logos used by PDF files to identify certain preferences. Like, those are in so many... We've seen them on here. You know, they sneak them in the background of this or whatever. It's crazy. Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy.
That I've gathered over the last few hours, all of this has something to do with the food, pizza, which then led me onto Isaac Cappy and some of the things that Isaac Cappy speaks about. Let me show you, in fact. So this is Tom Hanks, and Tom Hanks was allegedly posting all kinds of random lost gloves all over the place. He didn't just do it once or twice. The guy literally took pictures of lost gloves all over the place wherever he found them. This one seems to have its own unique serial number or code scratched into the floor. Now, after the hours and hours of looking into Isaac Cappy and all the things that he said, he didn't just speak about Tom Hanks, he also spoke about others like Seth Green. Now, like I said, I will keep Isaac Cappy's message alive. Guys, let me know more that I need to look into with that.
Drone.
Anybody who wants to know about Antarctica, consider a couple of facts. That treaty, there's not one nation in the world that says, no, we want to explore Antarctica. The biggest military expedition in the history of the world was funded, and Admiral Byrd was the top man. But then he ends up getting a radio signal, but it's not from the command center. It is from an unidentified being. He also ends up seeing two UFOs that are not using any understood means of propulsion.
That's a good point. The nations of the world hardly agree on anything, but there's one thing they agree on. Oh, you can't go to Antarctica.
True.
Strange. Now I can't say what is and what isn't there, because, duh, I've never been to Antarctica. But one thing I definitely know is something is being hidden there. Something they don't want the public to see.
Hear me out. The reason why when you record yourself, you know it's you and it don't sound like you to you because we got two sets of ears. We got outer ears, we got inner ears. Okay, how you hear yourself, I could never hear you how you hear you unless I'm in your head. Everybody on the planet is made like that. Now you gotta think to yourself, why we made like that? You sound uniquely to yourself in a way that nobody can never hear you. Oh, gee, I can never hear you how you hear you. If you record yourself, and when you first hear yourself, you're hearing yourself with your outer ears. That's how we hear you. But how you hear you, that's why you can stick your fingers in your ears and still hear yourself. Because your inner ears is picking up on what you're saying. Now, we got some people that have been in church before when they was kids, right? Anybody ever heard the preacher say, let the word fall on good ground? You ever heard that before? When he was talking about the ground, he was talking about your spirit. And what happens is, what you say about you affects you more than what I say about you or anybody else says about you. And the reason being is because you hear yourself in a unique way, to whereas when you say something negative or positive about you, it's going right in your inner ears and going right in your ground, in your spirit. Every seed produces of its kind, right? Right? Every seed produces of its kind. Well, let me tell you something. Words are seeds. Words are seeds. They are seeds that contain thoughts. God's word, that's God's thoughts. Remember the Bible where it says out of the same mouth come blessings and curses. See, you cursing yourself when you talking negative about your body, your money, your children, your situation in life. You are cursing yourself. And the thing is, there's two kingdoms that motivate this whole world. God just said in Isaiah 57, he said he create the good fruit of the lips. See, if we take God's word and put it in our mouth, then that's what's going to go in us. And then that's what's going to transform us. Heart, meaning your spirit, and your tongue is connected. So whatever you're saying out your mouth, that's what you believe about your life. You got to watch what you're saying. You got to watch your words. About speaking and stuff in your inner ears and get it in your spirit. See, it's going to take time. You know how you watch a movie and then you watch a movie, then you see it again, you see something different that you didn't see at first? Make sure you read these books more than one time yourself. Read them at least 3 times and get it in you. Because once you understand that God really loves you for real, then you'll understand it ain't God testing you and all. You know, people, oh, it's just God testing me, but the test be something bad. No, a lot of times, man, we just get ourselves in a jammy and God wants us to come to him and understand his love so he can get us out of it. But you got to take the time and do it. You got to draw near to him and he'll draw near to you. Because if you don't draw near to him, he cannot force you. God cannot do that. God don't force nobody. Y'all brothers be blessed.
We just went to church, y'all. Spoke some truth. Project Pat, who would have thought? He was out there preaching now. It's come a long way, y'all. Change is good. Change is powerful. Change is needed. Nothing changes if nothing changes. The great Theo Von said that.
Beginning to receive reports that Australia is now starting to witness the drones and the orbs in the sky. I want to talk about this video that was sent to me. This was taken in Cornilla Beach, Australia, around December 17th, 2024. And honestly, this is more than just a massive detached cloud that's hovering above the beach itself. This may be a cloaked mothership, not just a spaceship. This thing is massive. So for those who want to quickly claim that it's just a shelf cloud. It's detached by itself, hovering above the water. Really? Take a look at this and tell me what you think.
Those look crazy.
Something really crazy I want to show you.
Yeah.
So this is going viral right now. And think about this. We've seen footage of ghosts before.
Okay.
But one of the places we never really heard about ghosts coming from until recently was the tombs of Egypt.
There's ghosts?
Yo, somebody took a picture in one of the tombs in Egypt.
Yeah.
Literally the ancient tombs, fam. They took a picture and they saw a picture or a figure of a person there that looks like an ancient Egyptian ghost. Now, this is where it gets crazy, right? So this is the picture I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
So this is the picture.
What would it
So
look
it's
like?
in the tomb and it's right beside the sarcophagus or the statue. Now, this is the picture itself. Does that not look like a person, right? That looks like a person, right? Right here. This looks like a whole person.
I thought that was a
So
person.
the person that took this picture was alone in the room when it happened, fam.
But she noticed that there was a person there and ran out, right?
After they took the picture.
Oh.
After they took the picture, they realized, yo, what the fuck is this beside? Now it gets crazier, right?
Okay.
Because they showed, and this is the picture enhanced. So you can see behind it, it's almost semi-transparent as like a spirit would be, right? Now this is where it gets weird.
Okay.
Because they showed it to one of the archaeological experts.
Well, it's not only happening in America. Almost simultaneously with each of these major catastrophes, a number of similar natural disasters have occurred in different parts of our planet. You certainly hear a lot about the fact that the number of natural disasters has been growing rapidly for the last several decades. And this is really so. But only a few people talk about another alarming fact: the simultaneous occurrence of powerful cataclysms in the world. Moreover, it's important to note that severe natural disasters of various types begin to occur simultaneously. That is, those that occur on the surface of the planet, such as extreme precipitation hurricanes, and those that occur inside the planet, such as earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. This suggests that we humans cannot be the cause of such irregular coincidences. But it's an indication that very abrupt and deep changes have started in our planet, affecting not only the atmosphere, but also all layers of the Earth. That is, both on the surface and in the planet's interior. This means that everything is much more severe than we have been told. And now is the time for every American to take care of their near future. But we will discuss this in more detail at the end of the conference.
Angel statue discovered in Russia.
What?
This is the creepiest thing I've seen in a good minute. There's these dudes, Russian dudes. They work in a gravel quarry or something, and they're just digging, and they found this ginormous statue of this crazy, evil-looking angel with its like hood down, but like its eyes, and it's these giant wingspan things, and it's like holding a shield, and it was kneeling. And these dudes standing up beside this statue, their heads didn't even go past the statue's head, and it was kneeling down.
Ew.
And it looks, the detail on it is like exquisite. Like it looks like a angel or man thing.
Oh, wow.
That was like frozen in time, like fell in a concrete bath or something. And so what does that mean?
Sounds like the start to
Don't
a
know.
scary movie. They're gonna go put it in a lab and they're gonna soak it in like acid or something.
Those are, that's a scary. Now,
yeah, that's.
Have you heard of the Terracotta Army?
Yeah.
In China?
yeah.
Dude, that is crazy.
I wanted to talk about that a long time ago.
Dude.
The fall.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake, honestly. Like, we'd have way better CGI if it was fake.
Okay, so let me get this straight. 2 astronauts, right? Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore went out for a space mission, an 8-day space mission, back in June. They get trapped out in space on accident, wasn't planned. But they just posted a picture today wearing Christmas hats. Lock in, okay? Let me explain this to you. They went out for an 8-day mission back in June. 8 days back in June. Today, since they're still trapped out there, they sent us a picture to be like, hey, we're doing all right. Why do you have Christmas hats on? Where did you get them from? Where did you get the Christmas hats from? Listen, I'm not a conspiracy theory. I'd rather just have the answer. But two things don't add up to me. If the mission was only 8 days back in June, there's no reason for them to have Christmas hats in December. How would they have Christmas hats? The mission was supposed to be 8 days in June. You were supposed to be back before Christmas. There's no reason for you to have Christmas hats. Now also, if you're telling me they're sending them supplies, why would you send them Christmas hats? They're trapped out in space. They want to come home. And you're sending Christmas hats? Something ain't adding up. I don't know exactly what it is, but something not adding up. Something not adding up. I don't know what y'all doing. Something not making no sense.
Now, aren't they at the space station? Isn't there people there year round? Just being plain devil's advocate over here, y'all. I'm sure they got a box of Christmas stuff, right? Make them feel a little at home up there in space or deep water.
5 billion people would be dead.
The population of the planet currently is what, 8 billion?
Yes.
So there'd be 3 billion people still alive. Where shall I go to be one of the 3 billion? I was just in New Zealand and Australia.
That's exactly where you'd go. Although, according to Toon, those are the only places that could actually sustain agriculture. Because most of the world is, certainly the mid-latitudes would be covered in these, sheets of ice, the freshwater bodies. Places like Iowa and Ukraine would be just snow for 10 years. And so agriculture would fail. And when agriculture fails, people just die. And on top of that, you have the radiation poisoning, because the ozone layer will be so damaged and destroyed that you can't be outside in the sunlight. And so people will be forced to live underground. And so you have to imagine people living underground, fighting for food everywhere except for in New Zealand and Australia.
They're here, y'all. They're here. This was captured in Costa Rica the other day, y'all. Look at this. What is going on, y'all? Why is this happening now? Again, ever since they came out about UFOs now.
Is that real in Costa Rica? He's got a fleet of UFOs guarding it. Is that legit?
Now these sightings are everywhere. My question is, what is going on behind the scenes? Why are we being told about this, but people are seeing this? There's gotta be something big coming, y'all. There's gotta be something big coming. You hear them screaming in the background? But yeah, y'all, in Costa Rica, what is going on? And nobody is speaking of this? Again, y'all, it's been really, really quiet. And Pluto is in Aquarius. So, I'm just waiting for the Big Bang. That's all. I'm just waiting for the Big Bang. That's it at this point. But Costa Rica, man, this is amazing. What a time to be alive, y'all. Let me know what you guys think about this video, man. Let's continue to get this shift. Peace.
We now have the clear shot of the orbs, which are now being called plasmoids. And people are saying that these are actual living organisms. And here's a really close-up shot of it with a 600mm film camera. And if you guys remember, there's this one dude that predicted this aerial battle that was supposed to happen shortly after Donald Trump was on Joe Rogan's podcast. If you remember, they were saying that there was supposed to be an alien invasion at a certain date and time, which never technically happened. But our definition of an alien invasion might be totally different than what's actually happening. So in this video here, a drone, which is this green light, comes up to the orb, which is the orange light, and the orb completely destroys this drone. The guy that was able to predict different events that happened did so that would use an algorithm that would analyze online conversations and predict future events. I did a full video on this, and the dude actually predicted a lot of things that have happened. And could the drones and the orbs in the sky be the alien invasion that he had predicted?
That can be an invasion, right? Considered from a different planet or under the water, under the ocean. If things came out of there and they're just showing in the skies, that's an invasion. Just because they haven't got hostile doesn't mean it's not an invasion. If Mexico or Canada's army starts riding tanks down our street, but they don't get hostile, that's an invasion.
O está circulando en las redes sociales de este ave, animal, lo que sea, con una forma extraña de moverse y también con una luz extraña. ¿Alguien sabe qué tipo de animal o ave es esto?
Apparently, it's being put out there that Trump wants Canada to be the 51st state.
Oh my gosh, what are you talking about?
That is so. I saw that.
Well, I mean, we give him
So
$100
funny.
billion. That's
really?
crazy to me.
So he had a dinner with Trudeau, and Trudeau's like, "You can't do tariffs; it's going to ruin our economy." And then Trump's like, "Well, stop stealing $100 million plus from America a year." And he's like, "Well, we can't do that." And he's like, "Okay, well then you can become the 51st state of America." But then Trump posted on his Twitter an AI image of him standing on this mountain cliff in the Rockies with a Canadian flag and says, "No Canada."
Who is his PR team?
I don't think there is a PR team.
That's crazy.
I love it.
Dude, he had a line though. I think he said president sounds a lot better than governor.
He offered Trudeau governor of the 51st state. But then I saw a Canadian from Alberta. She actually said, "We're all about becoming the 51st state.
No way.
But just don't make Trudeau the governor."
It's interesting, man. If you talk to Canadians, and I've been going up there doing stand up for years, I don't know anyone who likes this guy.
That's what we need right now, especially as a president. We're going to charge you this $100 billion or whatever it was. We can't afford that. Well, then quit taking our money. Can't afford that either. Well, then become the 51st state. You got 3 choices. And there you go. A, B, or C. There ain't no D, right? That's what we need, y'all. That's what we need to get back to where we were.
This man actually film a real life phoenix?
Check this out, y'all. What kind of bird is that?
That's
Bro,
crazy.
still a mystery, y'all. Stay weird.
You're going to think I'm nuts, but why should today be any different than any other day? I know this guy whose father worked with the Pentagon and NASA and like secret projects, and he has been messaging me that he will never forgive himself if he doesn't tell the people that he knows that for a month he's been watching this situation. And now, several days ago, before it became a discussion in the mainstream media, that these drones are ours and that they could very possibly be sniffing out something very dangerous, some missing dangerous W from the war, and that areas that coincide with where the drones have been seen have spiked in radiation. So he said it's time to think about where I am and that I might want to go somewhere with my daughter. And now Trump, who's hanging out with a lot of billionaires who have a lot of money for research, is also finding out that these are ours. And what were the government's choices? A, tell us that that's what they're doing and widespread panic and pandemonium, or B, do what they're doing. But something is wrong because otherwise they would eliminate them, and everyone's being very cagey. So what do you think?
Do you think there would be pandemonium if they said there was a aircraft, let's call it not of this world, took a warhead and we're monitoring it? It can strike at any minute. We don't know. We're monitoring it. Do you think everyone would lose their mind, or they'd go about business and go back to work on Monday? I think more of that. I think the places that are in the direct New Jersey area might go a little, get panic, and maybe run out of gas and run out of water and groceries like it was in 2024, toilet paper and all that. But the rest of us, like out here in Texas, Arizona, I don't think people would really freak out. Or am I wrong? What do you guys think? What do you think? I think we're just so overstimulated with these things on the daily. Breaking news. There's no more breaking news no more. Back in the day when I was little and there's breaking news, me and my mom would huddle up in front of the TV like, breaking news, we got some. Now, it's breaking news every day. All day, every day, there's breaking news. You go look at CNN right now. Promise you. Go put it on CNN. There's going to be breaking news right there.
Puppeteer is not only controlling that puppet that you see right there. He's making this puppet draw a painting right in front of us. I don't think people realize how difficult it is to be a puppeteer and take an inanimate object to create a storyline. But this puppeteer is drawing a painting. That's taking 2 skills and merging it in one. This is like breaking the 4th wall in the art world. This artist is going viral right now for good measure because I've never seen something like this. Top of adding personality to the puppet, this dude is literally drawing on strings. The amount of talent and skills that's in this world is really wild, man. There's so many artists and entertainers in the world that don't get the respect and credibility that they need. What you're seeing is somebody taking two skills and merging it into one. I've seen puppeteers make a whole storyline, and that's impressive itself. For this dude to make the puppet draw a painting on top of that is wild. Wild work. His social media handle is right there if you want to search him up. This artist deserves to keep on going viral.
They say they're walking amongst us. Maybe that artist right there might be a little reptilian type. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Social media, do your magic.
Footage is truly bizarre.
Oof.
A group of friends were playing a game outside around sundown. One of them was filming while two others stood close together. One guy had his index finger extended and the other was holding it tightly. The one holding the finger counted to 3, and as soon as he finished, the guy with the extended finger quickly pulled it away. But then something strange happened.
Yeah,
when you
crazy.
look at their shadows on the ground, you can still see one hand holding the other's finger, even though in real life their hands had already separated. The shadow seemed delayed. It lingered in that connected position for a few seconds before catching up and separating. I've seen clips of people playing this game before, and this phenomenon seems to happen often. It's clearly not a hoax, so the question is, what is this game and how is this even possible? Does anyone have an idea?
Witchcraft. Oh, thanks.
Do you remember this guy? He is the guy who was associated with Diddy.
Remember this dude? His drug mule? When he first got raided in his house out there. I forgot all about this guy. Let's see what happened to him. Let's see if this guy goes deep on him.
He was a mule for Diddy who got arrested. He got arrested around the same time Diddy did when his house got raided. He was just an ordinary point guard that played for Syracuse. How did he get caught up with Diddy? Just a regular basketball player playing in college, just doing his thing, hitting 3-pointers. And here they are in the picture, Diddy and Brendan Paul making deals. But the crazy thing about it is, Brendan Paul was arrested and he had a lot of stuff on him. He's a mule for Diddy and he had a lot of stuff on him. You know what I'm talking about? And guess what? Today, he's scot-free. All charges have been dropped. They said Brendan Paul completed a pre-trial diversion program. That's why all charges were dropped and that's why he was let go. Seems kind of funny to me. If that was a regular citizen walking on the streets, had all that stuff he had on him, being a mule for somebody, would it have been that easy to get let go and all charges dropped? It was reported that he was Diddy's main assistant. So yeah, he knows some things. But yeah, I don't know too much how diversion program works, but I guarantee he probably was talking, gave some information out, and it probably helped out. So if you see some new news about Diddy, it probably came from this guy, Brendan Paul. Having all felony charges dropped is crazy.
I was going to say it's either one or two things. One, he did what he said, gave him everything. We'll let you go scot-free if you just tell us everything. Or two, he's a plant. He was put there to take him down. One of those two things.
Ellen DeGeneres is not who you think she is.
Ellen DeGeneres is supposed to be related to all the Rothschilds. No! So there's a big theory going on right now, because you know how Ellen was like the sweetheart.
Yeah.
Like, everyone loved her. She was like our favorite host, right? But recently...
She was canceled.
Yeah, she was canceled because every time she had like an engagement with a fan, she was mean to staff. Like it was all bad reviews, right? So I'm gonna read you Ellen's family tree. Distant relative is Jane Seymour, so who became the third wife of Henry V after Anne Boleyn was beheaded.
Wait, the king? King Henry?
The King Henry. Amelia Earhart.
No way.
Her 8th cousin. What? And she's also cousins of...
Oh, that's the Duchess. Prince William's.
Prince William's wife?
Yeah,
Prince William's wife. She's related to all these people, and people dug even deeper where they found her name, grandson of the Rothschild.
Damn.
Grandson.
Yo.
They're all plants, y'all. They were groomed to get. That's why they keep the secret so well, and that's why that club is what it is. Can't get in that club. I can't get into that club. Got to have some blood ties to it. And if not, they're going to make you do some blood ties to it, you know? It's crazy, y'all. It's just a show. It's all a show.
The devil is actually more comfortable hanging out in church than a bar. He was raised in a pretty holy place. He would prefer to go to church than a witch hunt or a group of witches. He already has them.
Yeah.
He's after the genius that God wants to manifest through his people. And actually, because if you manifest the wisdom and the life of God, actually somebody who doesn't know him, who's doing what you do, it draws them in.
I want you to explain that to me, Dr. Spock. I'm afraid to. This is sort of a Twilight Zone football game.
These drone and UFO sightings in New Jersey might not be new. Let me take you back to October 28th, 1979. During an NFL game between the Cowboys and Steelers at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, CBS cameras caught something extraordinary in the sky. Two objects hovering and spinning rapidly on two axes.
Those are the plasmoids, y'all. There they are on national TV.
Like interlocking rings moving in opposite directions. Even the announcers were stunned, unable to explain what they were seeing.
Those were some kind of, I don't know what they were.
Fast forward to now. Recent drone and UAP sightings in New Jersey are being reported nightly. On December 15th, 2024, a camera crew for ABC News was in Mendham Township, New Jersey, and captured an object on their live stream that is similar to what was seen in 1979. And let's not forget, Pittsburgh and New Jersey aren't that far apart. Are these similar types of craft, or a coincidence? Or are these sightings be part of a larger ongoing phenomenon that's been in our skies for decades? Drop your theories in the comments.
Crazy.
Look!
I'm not really posting a lot of drone orb type things, just things that I think are like, damn, that's crazy. I'm posting those, y'all. So I'm not trying to go too crazy. I feel like it's kind of played out as crazy as it is still. But I'm keeping an eye on it. Don't worry. I'm still keeping an eye on it.
You need to get the boys.
Just one zap away from starting some stuff, y'all. From then chaos is gonna start. That thing zaps somebody out
like the Russie Cat dolls was a front for maybe something else. It's almost like that.
Watch this. You can clearly see her black eye makeup when she blinks. Right here. Eyes are closed. Swinging her head, eyes are closed. I don't see any white eyelids. Do you? Eyes are closed. Black makeup. You guys can all slow this down. Boom. Eyes turn white. Isn't that interesting? Blinks right there. You can see black eye makeup when she blinks right there. These aren't her eyelids. They're her actual eyes. You guys
Lady
can use
Gaga?
critical thinking, because you're watching witchcraft. You need to know who these people are, what's going on. Black eye makeup? Nope.
When I saw what Diddy did to Justin Bieber that night, I was going crazy, but I couldn't say anything. I remember that night like it was yesterday. Diddy had just picked up Justin, barely 15 years old, promising 48 hours of madness, and I was there, behind the cameras. The atmosphere was tense from the start. Justin, with his innocent and nervous face, was trying to keep up, but I could see in his eyes that he didn't belong there. Diddy had organized a huge party at his place for Justin, but the guests were getting stranger by the minute. They were forcing Justin to drink, and even though he hesitated, he went along with it. But everything changed when Diddy pulled out that bottle. He handed it to Justin, who knelt as people shouted, "Happy birthday." It was supposed to be fun, but it didn't feel that way. The way people looked at him, their morbid excitement, it was like they were waiting for something much darker to happen. Hours later, I saw Justin alone in a corner, his smile gone. He looked exhausted, like he had gone through a nightmare no one his age should experience. I still think about Diddy's words that night. He talked, and when I
just found out something extremely disturbing from one of Beyoncé's songs called Alien Superstar. Now the intro of this song is actually a sample, but just listen to what it says. It says, "Please, do not be alarmed. Remain calm. Do not attempt to leave the dance floor. The DJ booth is conducting a troubleshoot test of the entire system. Somehow, while the party was in progress, an unidentified frequency has been existing in the system for some time. And while many of you have been made too brainwashed to comprehend, this frequency is and has become a threat to our society as we know it. This frequency has been used by a secret society in conjunction with Lucifer to lure and prey on innocent partygoers with hypnotism, synchroprism, tricknology, lies, scandal, and pornography. While the party is still in progress, we will keep you updated on our current status." This is where it gets even more weird. Beyoncé actually uses hypnosis in her concerts. I mean, look at this one in particular. Her fans were looking at this visual for over a minute with frequencies playing, and then they were flashed words like, "Whoever controls the media controls the mind control." I mean, and then this concert showed a portal with legs spread around it. She's literally telling us in her music and in her concerts.
Is that what goes on at these concerts, y'all? I've never been to a concert. I've never been that much of a fan of music to want to go see a concert. I've never been. But is this what goes on at these concerts? I see it time and time again.
Mandela effect in full play.
Wasn't it Meet the Millers?
I remember it, We're the Millers. What do you guys remember it? Was it Meet the Millers? I remember We're the Millers.
Has me tripping out, so I went and grabbed my DVD. And I swear on everything this was Meet the Millers.
China's got the best map of the moon, and they did send a probe to the other side. So China is looking at the other side. One thing that I like to point out about the moon, 209 moons in the solar system. If you went and looked at all the moons around every planet, because some of them have multiple ones, so there are a bunch of them. None of them, as would be expected mathematically, perfectly occlude the sun. They do not have eclipses.
Do we know that for a fact?
Yeah. Because you know the size of the object. So you know if you're on Jupiter and you measure Callisto, a moon of Jupiter, that's pretty easy to figure out. You know, that thing is that size. Would it cover the sun perfectly? And mathematically, just think about it. What's the likelihood of one object that's in front of you, between you and another object, being perfectly matching it? In other words, and this is what causes it, the moon is 1/400th the diameter of the sun. So you stretch out 400 moons, you'd have the diameter of the sun. But the sun is 400 times further away.
Talk about hitting the lottery.
Exactly, Danny. Exactly. The likelihood of any one object doing that, it's much more likely it's going to be a tad bigger, a tad smaller, a shitload bigger, a shitload smaller. But ours, for whatever reason, and it also always faces us, that's not always the case either. I don't think it's the case in any of them. We've got an unusual moon.
I wanted to share with you guys
some potatoes that have been eaten by rats. I actually wanted to show you guys what they look like. I know a lot of you, a lot of people out there eat potatoes. So I wanted to show you guys what a potato looks like when a rat has gnawed on it before you purchase it at the grocery store. Here's one. You can see the rat teeth in there if you look closely. Here's another one. If you look around the edges, you can see that they just went to town on those. And here's another one.
Do you throw them away or put them in the bag?
And here's one more.
I'm guessing you put them in the bag.
So be careful when you choose your potatoes at the grocery store. Make sure they have no holes, no scratch marks, no anything, or you will be feeding rat potatoes to your family. Have a good day.
You know what? I have no Valentine. You have no Valentine? Except for those two little girls from the Helen Show. Except for those two little girls from the Helen Show.
There's no God. God ain't real, okay? If there was a God, there'd be a lightning strike in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, this is very concerning.
People don't realize how much knowledge is actually kept secret in the Vatican archives. 85 kilometers of shelf space, 35,000 volumes of catalogs, logging over 1,200 years worth of records. By 2018, it claimed to hold the equivalent of 180 terabytes of data, said to mainly store documents relating to the Pope, internal accounts of the Church, and other significant historic records. But up until 1881, no one but the Pope's inner circle was even allowed inside, so who knows what's really hidden down there. Even today, the secret archive is not accessible to the public, but only to certain scholars and under the most bizarrely specific conditions that you could imagine. First of all, any living pope needs to have been deceased for over 75 years before any documents collected during his time become available. Then, only academics who undergo a very thorough vetting process are allowed access, and also need to request special permission to anything they want to look at. That can take months and may not always get granted. And even then, they wouldn't be able to just walk through and browse the archives to find what may be of interest. No, you need to specifically request the exact documents that you want to look at without ever stepping inside. Can you see how that might be an issue? 85 kilometers of shelf space. That's 2 marathons and would take the average person about 16 hours to fully walk through. Yet, they're required to request exactly the volumes they want to study from this monumental catalog without actually looking through it. And if we don't know certain volumes even exist, there's no way anyone can ask for it. Meaning, there is a lot of text down there that we will never know about. I'm not saying they're hiding secrets of, I don't know, Atlantis or the end of the world in these archives. Also not completely denying that they might be. But 35,000 volumes is an astronomical amount of information, and if they ever did want to keep something a secret, this would be the best place to hide it.
This was still the craziest story that happened in all 2024. They were spawning out the ground, son. Underground tunnels like it was normal. That's not normal. You never figured out what it was for. They was like, oh yeah, we just extending our lane. Look, what you mean you extending your area with underground tunnels? What was y'all doing down there? And I'll just never forget this shit because I was like, wait, hold on. If it was any other group of people, oh, that is national headlines. That shit is getting bombed the next day. Could you imagine the headline, Muslim underground tunnels found under mosque? Oh yeah, that place is getting nuked. Black people, underground tunnels. And they'd be like, wait, whoa. What's going on? Asian underground tunnels? They'd be like, oh yeah, put them back in internment camps. What are you, crazy? Oh yeah, I don't know. They was just digging. Yeah, we don't know what they was doing down there. Some people, they had beds and clothes and grills, but normal.
Grills.
All knew they had underground tunnels. And the fact that they were able to get into a brawl between police, you're going to prison for that. I mean, some of them were arrested, but nobody served time. Can you imagine Muslim students seen sit behind their secret tunnel passage underneath their school as they destabilized other buildings and almost had them collapse? Oh yeah, they're getting banished. I don't even know if we can still banish people, but they would be cooked, extradited immediately. Y'all was spawning from underground. That is vociferous work. Y'all had some underground tunnels going. Iniquitous, but kind of genius, because it was like, what?
Telling my brother I was thinking on the way come here, I said, I'm getting nervous. You really... These stories, we gotta check that out. No, we thank God for edits. Go ahead.
Thank God for edit. Go ahead. Hope you guys enjoyed today's reaction, y'all. Busy day coming up, y'all. I'm gonna be reacting on my second channel. I had a video over there kind of go viral, y'all. We got 55,000 views on one of my clips over there, and you know, never had that much views, so we're damn close to getting those 1,000 subscribers and doing that giveaway over there. So if you made it this far, go down to my description and go hit that subscribe over there at Segovia's Man Cave. We'll be doing a giveaway when we get to 1,000 over there, y'all. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's reaction. If you made it this far, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I got to do some things. Got to wash my truck, my car, change my oil, go for a hike. Got to do all that, react on my second channel. So I got to get going, y'all. Hope everyone out there has a good Friday. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow on Saturday. This is Segovia signing out of the Man Cave. Later.